I'm going to introduce you to the next talk that is by Gila Kurtz from the Olin Institute of Technology, Israel, and Imbal Lecter, Olin Institute of Technology from Israel. So Gila is presenting a paper called Effects of Guidance, Assistance, Narrative, Competition, Challenge, and Age on Performances in Digital Learning Games. She will tell us about how digital games have become popular in many fields, especially in learning and research studies, showing that digital game-based learning can create stimulating environment that increases learners' motivation, and that's for sure. And her contribution is aimed at investigating the role and impact of instructional elements design, including, of course, games. They examined the effect of 4 game elements on player performance, guidance and assistance, narrative integration, competition, challenge, and background characteristics, player's age. So we're really looking forward to your talk, Gila. We are all involved in this kind of studies, so it will be absolutely interesting. You have half an hour. I will alert you 5 minutes before. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Hello, I'm so excited to be here. This is my first international conference since the COVID. I don't know how about you, but I really missed listening to live someone who's looking at me and also having the coffee. So thank you very much for coming. I'm Gila Kurtz, and I'm the Dean of Instructional Technologies faculty at Holon Institute of Technology, HIT, Israel. And actually, the question that we were asking, what I say we're asking, it's me and my former student Inbal, who is from a distance. And by the way, Inbal, I can see your WhatsApp if you want to say something. So I'm going to present her work, her master work, and unfortunately she couldn't come here. So I hope that she will be proud of me presenting her work. So the question is, like, what elements affect on performance in digital learning games? We all know that digital learning games are fun and good and nice, but what are the performance effect on them? So just let me see if it works. Yeah, it moved, right? Yeah. So this is the long title, and I will start briefly by telling you that it all started here. This is Eretz Israel Museum. It's a multidisciplinary museum based in Tel Aviv, focused on the heritage, Israeli heritage, culture, Israeli heritage. And many people come there, students, families, and they come. While coming there, they're really looking to have some fun within the museum. So the museum, the educational museum department really yeah, no, sorry, it's backwards. No, well, the department, the educational department created a lot of educational digital games to welcome the visitors, and they play there. For almost 5 years, they developed almost more than 3 digital games in the museum. So it's a lot of games through app and through mobiles. And the question was like this. They really didn't know what works and what doesn't work. What by saying that they can observe the students or the players, but they really don't know if they are doing the job rightly. So they observed, and while they didn't get the answer, we came. So this is us. We got inside and we said, okay, let us help you. Let us answer you. Do you do your work correctly or rightly? So Inbal, she's a graduate student. So we started by doing a literature review. As you can see, the literature is full with with elements that can all has impact on games. And after reading all these, you know, there's competitions element, the challenges within the games, guidance, collaboration, rewards, and so forth. And after reading the literature review, we came to this focused research question that was, what elements influence motivation and performance? And we, performance for us was the number of stations that players made. This is performance, and it's also represent motivation. The more you play, the more you might have motivation. So this is our research question, and before I'll tell you the results, I want to tell you about the data. And I'm very proud of the methodology of this research because it is based on big data. Usually when you want to know about something, you ask the participant, did you like it? And so forth. No, we didn't ask anyone. We just look at the data. And we looked at 9 games that were very similar. They are both collaborative and the same kind of, we could like combine them together. You see, this is more than 3,000 users. But here's the point. User is not individual. User is 3 or 4 players. So it's a group as a user. So we are saying that like we have like data from almost 12,000 players. So getting these numbers, as you understand, these huge numbers, and you can ask many, many questions. And I have only like half an hour, so I will present just some examples of the questions and highlights, answers, results, and maybe we together can explain why we got these results. So just for you to know, you see this is the one of the games. The visitors go around and do the task, and we have the data is stored, as you can see, and all can be recorded and documented. As I said, performance is looked at by us as a number of completed game stations. And it's indicators for also for motivation level. So this is the dependent variable for us. Trying to explain the number of completed game stations. And we decided to look at like 4 independent variables, like the challenges that had within the games, the guidance. When I'm talking, I'm saying the guidance is someone going with you or just being there, the narrative, the storytelling of the game, either it has competitions and age. I will be less talk about competition and age, but I'll talk more about the other variables. So these are, as I said, just partial results, and I will would love to have your answers to why you think we got the results. So let's start. This is really interesting. We saw that if you have the guidance through paper printed or through video, it makes a difference. We see that the players who got the guidance, the game instruction by video, finished much more in higher score than the one who got it in print. So this is kind of example that the video is the king, right? So yeah, we got it. We found the participants who received game instruction, included the video, completed more stations in the game than those who did not. Well, it's not so surprising, but we got it as a conclusion here. We saw something interesting, that the narrative depth, saying that the story or the game area size, this is the challenge, how far you have to go we see that it didn't have any influence on our participants. It seemed they didn't make any change on the players' motivations. And this can be explained by being young. They're more kind of, they're okay, they're ready to run all over. So this is within all the players. We saw that within the group of players, we can see two types of group of players. One is the family mode, like people coming as fun day of the family, parents and their children. There are 52% of the participants in this research. There are children with various age that accomplished it by adults, and so they played in digital games not as a group, but as a family. The other 48% were students or pupils coming with the class, and they came like from school, military, or business organization, and they played as with a guide, and the game was limited by time, also like the family. So we have two types of groups, and I want to shed lights on each group with, as I said, examples of the findings. Okay. Here's the first one. Student or players who came as a group showed much more motivation than the family. Why is that? Why is that when you come with your friends, your school, your business, you play much more stations than the family? Anyone wants to suggest why? No? Okay. We think that maybe the game is not so essential for the family. They come to be together, not just experience the game. The game is fun, but within the group, it might be kind of doing some kind of competition. When we look at these two groups separately and ask questions about the elements of the game and their play performance, we saw something really interesting. Okay, what you see here that we compared the group mode, the students who came with the class or workplace, and compared the assistant level, meaning assistant level is someone who is guiding an assistant from instructor close to the students, or maybe from a distance, just knowing that you have some kind of instructor far back. What do you think? Whose group has more motivation? The one who got close guide or distance guide? Close guide, who think they got the close guide? No, the distance. Knowing that you have someone to answer you, it's enough. We see it. It's enough. Being on near you and close to you, maybe take your responsibility from the game. So this was kind of surprising to us. This is one of the results. Oh, as you can see the difference? It's a huge difference between. By the way, I see that you're taking picture. I can give you the presentation, no problem. And by the way, it will be published as a proceeding in the conference, so everything is all there. I'm jumping to some of linear stepwise regression that we did within the group with the students, and we saw that the game area size, their age, and the level of assistance only explain almost 20% of the variance, which is, in social science, it can be high, but you understand that you, within these three variables, explain 20%, while 80% you don't know how to explain their motivation. And this is something that we really understand with it. We have to research what are the 80%, and I'll come to it when I finish my presentation. Okay, let's look at the family coming to have fun, children, parents, and their grandparents. we looked at them and we saw the following. If you give them game instructions, printed or video, and also the order of the station, it can be played linear or it can be free. You see that if you get video and linear station order, the group of these participants showed more motivation and performed their high performance than the others that were free, had free station order and printed. So it seems like you need, remember, choices, not much choices. When you do a linear, you don't have to decide, and linear seems to be easier to study. So if I want to summarize, as I said, this is partial findings. We see that game mode, either family or school, explain motivation and performance. Game instruction, video versus print, explain also. Assistance, distant or far, also explain. Game area size and narrative depth has a weak explanation on the data we got. And order of station, very weak. But again, if you look at it, we understand that the story is huge than what you see right now. I think that this work is really, how do you say, very new in the mode of methodology work. It's not asking someone, it's looking at the data, at the actual behavior. And I think this is this is the future, going over there with the big data and looking at the numbers to understand human behaviors. But having said that, I know that we are showing just a glimpse of, we are just starting to understand what the numbers are saying. I think the story is far from ending, and we have a lot of work to do and to know what to do. So I'm calling everyone who would like to join us to do further research, or maybe have other answers, or maybe other variables, to join us, and we would love to do further research on it. So Inbal, I hope I was okay, and thank you very much. Okay. Oh. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you so much for
Patricia.
your presentation. Was very nice. I didn't know if I lost something, but how you measure the motivation?
Oh, we define motivation as the number of the station the players played. I mean, as much as you play, it means that you have more motivation. This is how we explained it. Okay? Understood?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
More questions?
Thank you very much. That was very interesting. My question relates to your query of anyone, wanting to further this research. Have you reached out to other large museums and institutions around the world that have interactive games as part of their displays?
I'm doing it right now. What about you,
wonderful.
Antonella? Well,
wonderful.
She just finished it, and she's and thank you very much. We will do so. We would love to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes.
I hope so. Other questions?
Yeah, I particularly like what you said about the use of big data in this, really to measure affect. That's really what's been missing from instruction for so long. And really, if I didn't get it across, you did, and it's that overlaying the data science onto the instruction, gaming, whatever, gamification, whatever it is really what's necessary. And that's the next wave. We got to get there. We got to quit cutting the budgets on this stuff here in favor of and use those tools to show that.
Well, I'm in the academia. I'm not talking about budget, but I want to say that I think I agree with you. But looking at the numbers, I know that the challenge is to explain to us what does the number tell us, and we still don't know. And as much as I want to say yes, we know, and this is the way. I look at the numbers and I don't know, what does it tell me? I see something and I don't understand why it's happening, but this is exciting. So this is why I'm there.
Really extracting wisdom from data, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And especially working with some, as you said, big data, you have a large amount of data there, and that's a precious mine to understand more what we can do with technology, especially at the museum, especially trying to value the culture of the territory. And in that case, it is, really interesting what you did. And as some of our colleagues was saying, it's important to go further and use this methodology and this research for other realities wherever they are. I think it's absolutely important. My question was, can you tell us more about the way and the time when these data were collected? I mean, over how long did the research last?
Yes, it was 4 years, from 2017 to 2020, I think. Yeah, it was in the yes, it is. It was one of the beginning of the. You see? So this is So it was a huge amount of time, and the data was really dirty in terms of you have to clean, and a lot of data that we didn't know what to do it. So she worked really hard in Nabal to clean it. So
So also the fact that it lasted for a fairly long time, of course, gives even more value to this research. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much again. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.